During my time in the military in 1992, in order for me to go to Somalia, I was prescribed mefloquine, which is an anti-malarial drug that was given soldiers of that era, in fact, until very recently. I had a severe reaction to it, as did many others. A lot of the fallout from that mimics PTSD, and for the longest time, I was treated for depression extensively, involved hospitalizations. I had 17 ECTs. Not a happy time in my life. I now recognize that most of that unhappiness was probably caused due to me being poisoned by this drug.
Veterans that spent their whole career in the military, civilian life is completely alien. It's completely alien. Like, I mean, I didn't do a whole career, but you know, you don't know how to act. You don't know how to do anything. You don't know how do I get a job, right? Like they don't teach in the military how to get a job. You already have one, and it's weird. Like, there's nothing transferable. It's not like you get a job at a supermarket. They go, okay, I want you to go and shoot everybody in aisle 6, right? It's just not. It's so weird, right? So I think there's a lot of that, is that we don't actually know how to live in the real world.
Willie, you take a great work. You take a really good.
He's looking for his blanket too.
Wow. Let's get them all.
I love the brotherhood. I love the teamwork, the camaraderie, and everything that went along with it. I was excelling in my career, you know, being advanced promoted, and then in the blink of an eye, in one accident, it was career-ending. The kind of way I look at it now is in comparison, is kind of like today with tattoos. Every single person you run into today has a tattoo, versus if you go 40 years ago and somebody had a tattoo, you know, they're categorized or looked frowned upon as a bad guy or a motorcycle guy or a military guy, and that was that stigma around it. I mean, everybody today, from young youth to grandmothers to everybody has, and we managed to get through that stigma of tattoos, and this is no different, right? If we can educate people in PTSD and support our veterans that were willing to put their life on the line. Sir.
A lot of us are quite damaged, and you know that they know what it's about, as opposed to, you know, other people can read about it and stuff like that, but they don't really know. So that's a huge thing, and so you feel like you're coming home.
Grown men with blankies.
Our security blankets, right?
My Wooby is upstairs. I can go get that if you want to.
The community is a really loving community. Every club I've ever met, right across the country, there's a lot of misconceptions about what we stand for. You choose this life. You choose to wear a patch, in our case a patch, and when you make that commitment, there are minimum standards that everybody has to, whether they're white, brown, black, yellow, they have to adhere to these minimum standards of being, we have a code of conduct. So if you can show that you are worthy of that patch, then you join, you are accepted. I can remember when I was a child, in the back of my mom and dad's station wagon. With my brother, we were playing, and in the distance we could hear this rumble. It started off as a faint rumble, and then as it approached, we could feel we could feel the vibration, and they were like Vikings out of the midst. They were scary, they were big, and they roared by us, and me and my brother were scared to our bones. My dad held steady, my mom held steady, and they were louder than ever, and I was scared. And when they looked at me, one guy looked at me and he just scowled and kept going. And I remember that experience for my whole life, how I was scared. And when my friend Kerry bought a motorcycle, he turned me on a ride on a motorcycle, a Harley of all bikes. Now when I see a young child, I'll ride by and I'll remember how I was scared. And anyway.
Why are you tearing up?
Because no child should be scared like that.
I was just in a bad place, really bad place. And I had met Sandra previous to that because she was looking to start up a veterans program, and she had talked to me, and I had come out to the ranch and, given her my 2 cents and thought, what she was doing was absolutely fabulous, and to go for it, I encouraged her. And so here I was the next day after my episode, sitting on my couch contemplating suicide because I was just in a really bad place, and I was spiraling down fast, and I was thinking suicide. And I had been in that dark place before, and I didn't want to go there, and I knew where I was going. And I get a phone call from Sandra right out of the blue. She just called me, and she said, "Diane, would you like to do the program?"
About 10% of veterans suffer with PTSD, and often PTSD leads to suicide, and we did lose 40 veterans last year to suicide, most likely related to PTSD. So I combine equine-assisted therapy with mindfulness-based therapies for the treatment of trauma. Wondering any other symptoms? You mentioned the dreams, the flashbacks.
Sandra had already been working with veterans, and then when I met Sandra and we became a couple, we decided that with my knowledge of the military, that this was the route to go to helping veterans. My wife had a passion, and seeing how many veterans fell through the cracks, and it's still happening today. Even my own Veteran Affairs case took almost 3 decades to be resolved. So we look at people and we try to get them before they fall through the cracks, and hopefully we can save a life or two or make people's lives a lot better.
I think the thing that draws most everybody into it, whether it's the MC, the Commandos, or one of the RCs or anything like that, or any social group like that, it's the feeling of what you missed when you left the military. So we have, within this group, like we're spread out across Canada, but everybody that's in our group, the Commando group, is either, most of them are ex-military, but we still have some serving. But there's that sense of filling that void that you lost when you left the military. So as I joined the group, right, we've all basically experienced the same thing. We understand each other. We've been through the same ideas, but the same events at different capacities. And it's basically filling a void and filling something that's missing when you left the structure when you left the military.
I think the commitment is a lot of it's to do with the camaraderie that we experienced when we were in the military, and probably a common theme there, but it's quite true. And we don't care if a person was a private or a colonel. We don't care if he was Army, Navy, Air Force. We don't care if you served in a combat zone, jumped out of an airplane, or rode around in a truck. It doesn't matter to us. It's the club. We put our club first. By putting our club first, we're actually putting each other first.
A large part of it is for me, was the coast to coast networking. So, when I sent a text, if someone made a phone call, there was someone on the other end of that line to pick it up, no matter what. And that was a main thing for me, and I think we've accomplished that.
One of the things is the misconceptions of motorcycle clubs, and that is a big thing. We're in a big community. It's not just our club, and some of the best guys you'll ever meet are guys that ride bikes. They're just because they got long hair. I was in the military, had short hair, and people treated you differently. You're clean cut or whatever, but that doesn't change you as a person. So. Like for example, say one of the guys from another club dies. Well, the clubs come together and go there, and support the family, maybe give them money, or even that just the support. And how bike guys in the motorcycle community are treated. It's a big. It's wrong actually. Where people can't go to bars, or because of the colors they're wearing, or if people in Canada don't see what's going on right now, it could happen to them. And it doesn't, just because I wear a leather jacket and have long hair, it doesn't mean that I'm bad. In actual fact, most of the guys they're actually more true than people that are clean cut. Because they're going to be there to help you if your bike's broke down or your car, and and if you went to a neighborhood where I'll just use our club for an example, where our guys live, they'll shovel people's rocks for them. They're friendly. They'll open the door for people or whatever, and I think sometimes when the laws are made, they better look at themselves, because sooner or later, you're not, because you're wearing a certain jacket or whatever, you're not going to be allowed to do things. And, we fought, everybody in our club was a veteran, so, the reason they joined the military is for freedom and stuff, and freedom of speech, and, not just be discriminated against. Well, personally, I think it's wrong that just because you ride a motorcycle, or you have friends that ride motorcycles, well, we could look at any organization, but like our club, I can tell you, there's some discrimination against our club, and our club's never had even anybody drunk driving. So because we look a certain way, it's not right. That's my big thing.
Many misconceptions of bikers and the way people look, but I always say it like this: talk with your hands. Let your actions decide the opinions of others. This brotherhood that I'm in, carries more leverage than any drug or alcohol could ever help anybody with. This brotherhood creates opportunities for so many people. If we can give back to people and change people's lives, we've already won. Those are the fundamentals of this club. Like-minded people dealing with like-minded situations, real life situations.
Is there any incidents or events in your life that have taken place that you lean on your brothers in this motorcycle club for?
Yep. I've got I'm battling ALS, and my brothers are here for me, and that's what counts. It's simple, that besides my wife, my brothers are here, and that's what counts. That's what we lean on each other for. Sorry, but fact of life, and that's part of it. We have fun, we go riding, we do our things, we help out in that. It's being here for each other. That's what counts.
Last national rally, I had 2, 3, 4 people in the club come up to me and say how the club has saved their lives. And again, that's a hard response. I mean, that's in itself is so humbling, you know, as a founder. You know, that's exactly what it was meant for, this club. You know, that sort of connection and, like I said before, the networking and just the support between members. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it before from other members on here, but the support amongst the members for each other is second to none.